It's Up Taiwan. I'm Ethan Liu with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan's interior minister says the talks are underway to welcome Chinese tourists to the offshore Jinmen Islands. This will be a landmark development as free travel between Taiwan and China is currently banned. Joyce Zhen has more details.
This is Jinmen, which translates to Golden Gate. It's one hub in the so-called Mini Three Links, travel and postal routes which have maintained contact between Taiwan and China since 2001. But despite the decades-old agreement, traveling between the two places is still far from easy. Chinese citizens who wish to travel to Taiwan must get special permission from the governments of both China and Taiwan. Borders between the two countries were closed during the COVID-19 pandemic, but even after COVID restrictions have been lifted, travel for tourism between the two remains banned. Recently, though, Taiwan's interior minister has voiced his support for opening Jinmen's gates to Chinese travelers in what he calls a show of goodwill.
相关的一个政策，陆委会跟国安会，他们来做测定。不过我们就是做好这个一切的一个准备。
China-Taiwan relations are historically tense. Beijing doesn't recognize Taiwanese sovereignty and considers the island nation as part of its own. But given its proximity to China, observers say Jinmen may be a good place for Taiwan to extend an olive branch. The Jinmen Islands are located in the Taiwan Strait and is closer to the Chinese coast at just 10 kilometers. Meanwhile, it's about 200 kilometers from Taiwan's main island. Even with the need for an extra travel permit, Chinese tourists made up the largest share of Taiwan's record-high arrivals count in 2019, before the pandemic. Some believe restoring and encouraging more movement between the two countries could help cool the animosity.
我们也呼吁两岸的政府少一些政治干扰，多一些善意的交流。
Even if Taiwan were to open its doors to Chinese tourists to Jinmen, these travelers would still need permission from Beijing. Progress on this front will take effort from both sides, but it seems that Taiwan is willing to be the first to reach out. Ricky, Alex Chen, and Joyce Zhen for TaiwanPlus.
The indigenous Dao people of Taiwan and the EVA of the Philippines have a shared history going back centuries, but the two groups are finding their commonalities of something to be treasured and strengthened. Rick Lauer reports from Batanes in the Philippines.
Like his ancestors before him, Ivatan fisherman Veronico Avancenia returns to shore, bringing in his traditionally hand-caught bounty. He and his wife Blasilda are among some 20,000 indigenous Ivatan in Batanes, northern Philippines, where their unique culture has thrived for centuries.
This is tataya, the simple tataya. Using your muscle to row, not the machine.
This Ivatan community has long relied on the tataya to fish these waters. A seafaring culture they share with another isolated indigenous group less than 200 kilometers away, just across a maritime border. Some 800 years ago, the Ivatan traveled north and populated Taiwan's outlying Orchid Island, bringing with them their language and their culture. The indigenous people of Orchid Island are the Tao, and what is known here as Tataya, the Tao called Tatala. It's not the only similarity between the two far-flung communities. Like the Ivitans in the Philippines, the indigenous minority Tao on Taiwan's Orchid Island are also remote and isolated from the rest of the country.
对，这个就是因为我们就是四面环海，我们的区域的位置是非常相近的。好，那最主要是过去的几百年前的，甚至1000年前的连结之外呢，最主要是他们现在的生活跟我们台湾就是兰屿地区这边呢，它是一个在过去我们的生活非常相近的。
It was a search for their roots that took Ivitans Awe and Mitz Abelador to Orchid Island, where they recently did a creative residency. Now back in Batanes, they say the trip strengthened their own mission to promote indigenous art and culture.
Well, I think it's important because it's one of the missing pieces that can help us in, of course, in creating the identity of Ivatan. It's one of the piece. So I think it's important to know the process of knowing yourself is finding the pieces. So we visited there to be inspired, to know more personally.
Like the Tao, the Ivitans are struggling to balance maintaining their unique identity with riding a boom in tourism, and they are keen to share their knowledge with their Taiwan counterparts.
Connecting with them when you get connected, your sphere is becoming bigger. Your sphere of connections, probably influence, would be a good thing because you're promoting further understanding, and you get more people in the group sharing the same culture. That would mean a lot to us, not only with us, but even for them. A stronger voice for people in this area of the world.
With only one flight a day from the capital Manila, and that's if the weather holds, Batanes can feel disconnected from the rest of the Philippines. But by rediscovering and strengthening their ties with the Tao, the two indigenous peoples are finding a communality that transcends national borders. Patrick Chen and Rick Glowett in Batanes, the Philippines, for TaiwanPlus.
Staff of Taiwan's EVA Air are pushing to scrap a policy mandating female flight attendants to wear skirts. Sally Anson reports.
Tight-fitting pencil skirts and sky-high heels. Historically, airlines have enforced strict gendered uniform policies. Now, staff of Taiwan's EVA airline are demanding a change to the rules. They say making female flight attendants wear such clothes is impractical for their work.
空服员在受训的时候，我们穿的都是连身的工作装，穿的是球鞋。公司之所以让我们这样子去受训，这样子去做紧急逃生的准备，就表示说，其实他心里是知道裙装是非常不适合。
In contrast, British airline Virgin Atlantic removed its long-standing makeup requirement in 2019. And last year it dropped its gendered uniform policy, allowing staff to wear skirts or trousers as they choose. Human rights activists say EVA's current uniform policy perpetuates harmful stereotypes.
女性空服员会被要求要化妆、要穿裙装、要穿高跟鞋，再次强化了这个性别刻板印象。那这个完全跟我们现在相关的这些规定是完全背道而驰的。
EVA Air has denied that its uniform policy is discriminatory. It says it follows international standards and is in line with the company's image. But as more airlines around the world offer their staff non-gendered uniforms, to many it may look like EVA Air is skirting the issue. Eason Chen and Sally Ensign for TaiwanPlus.
Residents of the southern city of Kaohsiung have spotted a monkey hanging out in a local store. While Taiwan's native monkeys are common in the area, this kind of monkeying around still came as a surprise. John Van Trist has the details.
This little monkey was spotted Wednesday in a shop in the southern city of Kaohsiung. It had made itself quite at home on a high shelf and even helped itself to a snack. Formosan macaques like this one are native to Taiwan and are a common sight around the city's outskirts. But even locals were surprised to see this monkey lounging around in a store, except the shopkeepers.
店员是说已经进去有3次了，然后猴子就拿了香蕉之后就跳上架上，然后他就觉得他还是去跟店员说，如果他没去跟店员说，也没人发现猴子已经跑进。
While monkey habitat is shrinking, animal welfare groups say that's probably not the reason this monkey's come to town.
那熊猴呢？它成年之后本来就要向外移动、向外播迁，去寻找新的社群加入，然后呢，让它们的基因可以互相交流。
They say that if monkeys get indoors, it's important not to try and chase them out or give them food. They also say it's important not to pile up trash outside, and that proper trash disposal lowers your risk of getting caught up in unwanted monkey business. Alex Chen and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we leave you with images of baby animals at Peru Zoo. I'm Ethan Liu. Take care, and I'll see you next time.